brought to you in partnership with the A&M Consumer and Retail Group, Avalara, Williot, TGW, and Sezzle. Ranked in the top 10% of podcasts globally and currently the #1 podcast in all of retail by FeedSpot, the Retail Fast Five is the podcast that we hope makes you feel a little smarter, but most importantly, a little happier each week too. Today is January 10th, 2023. I'm your host, Ann Mazenga.
And I'm Chris Walton.
And we're here once again to discuss the most important headlines from the past week that highlight how the physical, digital, and human elements of retail are coming together to shape the future.
What
Chris,
a great opening to start the year, Ann.
Oh my
that was
gosh,
amazing.
I know.
What amazing.
We'll take #1 podcast in all of retail. That's really amazing.
I'm so new excited. Sponsor as well for those loyal listeners that probably caught that as well. Talk about that, Ann.
Yeah, so we have Williot, who I'm excited. They're going to be exhibiting at NRF when we head there this weekend. And they're a really cool technology company. We'll tell you all about them. We have some great content coming up, but really helping retailers get a good picture of where their products are in the supply chain and then where they are throughout their life cycle, making improved operations possible at every turn.
Yes. We've got good podcast coming up with them. We're going to be talking about them every week as well. But yeah, and you mentioned it, NRF. We got NRF. Can you believe
How is it here already?
I have no idea.
How is this possible?
New Year's on a Monday sucks. I'm just going to tell you that. I'm guessing everyone's feeling the same pain in the business world. It sucks. I hate it. It feels like everything's compressed this year, but hey, we're heading out there, and we got a good lineup though.
We have an amazing lineup. I'm really excited.
Best lineup yet.
Yeah. Chris, we are going to be having, rumor has it that your man crush, John Turner, will be stopping by again. Is that true?
Yes, that's the rumor. That's the rumor right now. I might have to dress up for the occasion, Ann. I got to put on my best.
The turtleneck? Is a turtleneck coming
out? The turtleneck might have to come out again. I don't know. We'll see. I am going to wear a suit every day of the show, just so you know. I think that's going to be my attire this year. But we've got execs from everyone: Stop and Shop, Sam's Club, Vitamin Shop, Office Depot.
We had another one from Northern Tool.
Yeah, they keep rolling in. So this is going to be Amazon Just Walk Out Technology too. Like the VP of Amazon Just Walk Out Technology is going to join us. This is going to be our best show lineup ever. And we're not done, Ann. We still got 3 or 4 days to get even more interviews. So if you're listening and you want to join us, let us know and we'll see if we can fit you in.
All right, Chris, should we move on to the headlines?
I think before we do that, Ann, I think we've got one big announcement for NRF that we got to cover.
Yes, that's right. We cannot forget. Everyone, you've been hearing us talk about the Retail Orphan Initiative Super Saturday Analyst Day. It is now just a couple of days away. You still have time to extend that flight. Just bump it out. Make sure that you get there for this Saturday, January 13th. For every retailer who attends, all you got to do is show up. 250 children will get clean water, education, or life skills just from your attendance there. It's 100% free for retailers to attend. And last year, they raised over $380,000 to help over 325,000 children in 28 different countries. Also, tech suppliers, there's still time for you to get in. There are still sponsorships available if you act now for as low as $2,500. You can see the full agenda, including the keynote from Run DMC and Daryl McDaniels. Get sponsorship information and most importantly, register right now at retailroi.org. That's retailroi.org. All right. Now we can go.
You want to do the headlines? All right. I'm excited. These are our first headlines of 2024. And today's Fast Five headlines, and wait for it, are brought to you in partnership with the help and support of Shop Talk. I don't know about you, Ann, but I'm starting to get very excited for what is to us. Honestly, it's the marquee event of the retail calendar, in my opinion, Ann, and I know you agree. And that's right. If you are one of the thousands to have done so already, or if you aren't one of the thousands to have done so already, it's high time that you booked your ticket to Shop Talk. It's taking place March 17th to 20th in Las Vegas. We go to Shop Talk every year. In fact, you can join us there and catch us on stage and hang out with us. We'll be moderating several sessions and even recording a live podcast episode with the Shop Talk team at the end of the show. They're having us back, and I can't believe it. It's amazing. You can come and hear us chat about retail's future with senior execs from Victoria's Secret, Chico's, Nest New York, PepsiCo, and Fossil Group. Now, keep in mind, prices increase in less than 2 weeks. and they're going to stop taking VIP applications in early February. Just Google Shop Talk to learn more and get your ticket. Retailers and brands can also use code OMNITALK. That's OMNITALK.
Thanks for
those
that.
that might not know how to spell it, to save an extra 10% off the current rates. Yes, use our discount code, please. All right, Ann. In today's Fast Five, we've got news on Peloton bringing its fitness classes to TikTok, Starbucks allowing customers to bring their own cups, Amazon deploying AI in a whole host of new ways on fashion, Walmart piloting mammography services. But we
Good
begin to
pronunciation there.
Thank you, Ann. And it's very hard because I have new glasses. I don't know if you noticed that, but it's very hard to read this out of my new glasses I'm finding. But we begin today with news out of Instacart. And
All right. Headline number one, Chris bifocals.
I know.
Instacart is bringing ads to their smart carts that you might have a hard time reading also with those glasses. So just keep that in mind. But according to Fast Company, Instacart will start piloting ads on its caper carts at Good Foods Holdings, Bristol Farm stores in Southern California. And launch partners include Del Monte Foods, Dreyer's Ice Cream, and General Mills. Quote, you can imagine an experience where you're going through the aisles of the store, you drop a box of cookies in your cart, and we immediately suggest Dreyer's Ice Cream to make ice cream sandwiches with your cookies. And even when we tell you which aisle you can find this product in, it'll be even better. End quote. Instacart CEO Fiji Simo told Fast Company, just like that, in that same intonation.
She probably did, actually.
It should also be noted that while that was a beautiful picture that Fiji painted, she also declined to provide how many of these caper carts are currently deployed, but said that the company expects to have thousands of smart carts in stores by the end of 2024. Chris, how are you feeling about the ads on the caper carts?
That last part is important. They're always important at thousands of stores or thousands of carts, the ambiguous number that everyone likes to throw out when they're trying to pump up whatever press release they have. And I mean, quite honestly, I am incredibly conflicted on this announcement.
Yeah, how come?
I'm going to try to relay why. So in some ways, I don't even know where to start. So first, the partner thing is a nothing burger to me because that company they appear to have sold their souls to Instacart. I mean, I'm just going to put it out there. Yeah. Like, okay. I mean, they're just all in on on Instacart. So no surprise that that's who is making this and who Instacart is making this announcement with. If Schnucks were announcing this, that would be a different story to me because they're the biggest retailer that's signed on with them, in my opinion. So, which brings me to my next question, Ann, is why have we heard about this from Schnucks lately? I mean, it's been 3 or 4 months. We haven't really heard much about this in terms of its implementation. So I'm curious, and I'm sure our loyal listeners from Schnucks will give us a few text messages explaining exactly why.
We're going to have that. Yeah. They're already in our inbox, Chris.
But I think that's a good question. I mean, like, why haven't we seen the smart cart, out in public yet more regularly? So, and then my last point, I get to the ads, but I get why a retailer wants to do this, but do you need to test this out in the theory of this with a smart cart? Like, aren't there simpler ways to get there, like that approximate the same thing? Like starting with just a TV screen on a cart and seeing if it actually drives purchases. Like, why invest in all the new smart cart hardware? And then you also have the customer acclimation problem to the new cart too, depending on how tricked out you want this experience to be. So that's what I don't like about it. But by the same token, excuse me, not token. It's not the Lord of the Rings, Ann. But by the same token, like knowing what's in my basket and sending a video enticement that correlates to that is pretty cool. So I kind of get a little inspired by hearing what she had to say. But I'm just so concerned that there's so much involved operationally that, that goes into it in order to make the ice cream example happen. Like, it sounds good, but I think there's so much when you get down to the real operation of a store for this to come to life as we're initially getting inspired by it. Doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, but I wouldn't be running towards this yet if I was a grocer.
So let me just understand that I
have no idea how I feel about this because I'm very conflicted.
You're more anti-smart cart than you are. So but here's my position, I guess. If you're
hard though. Yeah, go ahead.
If you're going to go in on the smart cart, then I think this is brilliant. I mean, it's in many cases, I think going to make sure that you're covering that ROI right away because those things are expensive. And if
It's the
you
value of the smart card, quite honestly.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So I think that especially with the Schnucks example, I'm going to defend Dave Steck and that team for a little bit because I think that they really haven't given it enough time yet.
No,
You
right.
really
No,
need,
fair enough.
to
Fair
your
enough.
point, you
Yeah. It's
need
been like
customer
4
adoption.
months.
You need to
Yeah.
change the infrastructure of the store. Like
Yeah.
there's so much that goes into this. But I'm gonna push back on you a little bit about the fact that this is not already happening. I mean, we talked to 1010 Data's Jonah a long time ago, and we were talking
Jonah
about
Elin. Yeah.
Jonah Elin. Yeah, we're talking about like how right now retailers are looking at point of sale data to find this information
Yeah.
out. They see that you bought, Dreyer's ice cream and then you also bought cookies. They have that information. I think it's just now putting it in the point of purchase that really could be beneficial. I mean, you're definitely going to see increased basket size with this. And I think that the data is also richer because it goes back to, again, what we were talking about on an upcoming podcast with Eagle Eye CEO Tim Mason about how now you have that picture in the aisle of what people are picking up, putting in their cart, taking out, or even other members of the family. Like think about kids dropping stuff in the cart, taking stuff out. Like you have
Yeah.
this information now if you've made the investment in the smart card already, which I think that's a separate thing we have to consider. But if you've made the smart card investment, I think this is a good move. And I would much prefer this in a store over a kiosk or in-store billboard, because again, I think that's just random personalization. You're just going based on an opinion of what you think your consumers are going to be doing
Yeah.
based on point of sale data, not like what I've actually physically put in my cart.
Totally agree, which makes me think this is gonna be a hotbed of interest by the tech community and the retail
For
community too,
sure.
because we totally don't even know how to think about this one yet, And but my thing is too is like, couldn't you just geolocate the cart or the consumer's mobile phone and serve up ads that way and try to just put a screen on it without having to create a whole new cart as well? So there's just so many dynamics to think through here. It's cool to see, but I don't know, Ed. Yeah, it's great points. So I mean, I just don't know where it's gonna go, but all right. In the interest of time, let's keep rolling. Headline number 2: Peloton is bringing. I can't wait to hear what your thoughts are on this because this was your headline request this week. You're like, I
Oh
want to
yeah.
do this one.
Yeah.
Peloton is bringing fitness classes to TikTok in a bigger push to woo Gen Z. According to Marketing Dive, Peloton will develop custom content for TikTok as part of a new agreement with the popular social media app. Videos will appear in a hashtag TikTok Fitness powered by Peloton co-branded hub and feature a selection of live and pre-recorded class clips, original instructor series, and collaborations with creators and celebrities. The portal will be grounded in themes from Peloton's recently introduced anyone, anytime, anywhere. That's an interesting tagline now that I read that out loud. Brand positioning around accessibility. And like I said before, you wanted this headline this week. Why? And do you like this move?
I love it. I think this is
Really?
really
Oh
smart
God, we're gonna fight again.
because I
All
know
right.
we're going to fight a lot in this
We didn't fight the
podcast.
first
I
one, really.
know.
We were kind
I
of like,
know.
okay, but yeah, we're gonna fight on this one.
Peloton, they need to get younger generations in. Like if you ask, my 13-year-old right now is like, that's so Karen. Like that's what he calls the Peloton
Really?
is Karen.
When you're on the Peloton, he calls you Karen.
Yes.
That's so great.
Also because of my haircut, I'm sure he's been calling me Karen for a long time. But anyway, like they need to capture this younger generation. And this younger generation is not stopping in a mall. They're not getting on the app. They're on TikTok. And I think this is where you can find them. You can start teasing them, not with the class clips. Like I'm not like at all concerned about the class clips. It's about the instructors. It's about finding people, because that's what this all comes down to is you're going to get a relationship developed with these instructors. They're already creating content individually on their own platform. So I think now that you have them going hard on TikTok with a Peloton like hub that people can go to, I think this is how they're going to capture that audience, with instructor first, and then you start to take them into the clips. They can see what kind of workouts they can do. They can do the teases on TikTok. And then I think you start to get further into how they can buy product on TikTok, how they're able to access other sources of revenue for Peloton. So I'm actually surprised that this didn't happen sooner. And I think that, it's just going to continue to build that relationship, which is what this is going to be all about. It's about content first for them, and then the actual hardware devices, other things second.
Wow. All right. Well, I'll give you the last word on this, which is how we run the show for those that are listening. Like we always, whoever goes first always gets the last word. But all right, here are my take. I could not disagree more. I absolutely hate this move. I think it
Why?
I think it cheapens the brand. For example, like one question I have is the content free? Do you have to pay for it? That was absent from the press releases. I
No,
have
it's
no
just
idea. It's
clips.
just
It's just
clips, right?
clips from
It's
the,
just
yeah, it's pulled content clips from existing programs.
right. So either way, either whether it is or not, I think it's an interesting question, but whether it is or not is actually kind of a moot point. Like it's still a race to the bottom. So for example, if you don't have the bike, and you mentioned this, the content is key. The content is what will win.
Yeah.
And there are no barriers to entry on content as TikTok has shown the world when it comes to that sort of thing. So my question for you is what right does Peloton have to win in the content space in the long run if the equipment isn't part of it? Because otherwise it's just another play in the already crowded gym space and the gym content space, which there's so much of. And which, as I learned in business school, the gyms, and you know this firsthand, the gyms are one of the worst businesses you could possibly be in because the fads change and
Yep.
the barriers to entry are so low. So essentially you have Peloton putting content out on TikTok. You have every other Tom, Dick, and Harry putting content out on TikTok. It's what's the end game here? So there's nothing. So net, I don't see any defensive moats being built from this move for Peloton. It's just going to encourage more people to crowd into the space. And so long term, it does nothing strategically, in my opinion. But you have the last word.
I don't know. I think you're looking at it in the wrong way. And I do think that there's a lot of value to what they put out as somebody that was on the app before owning a bike and now having a bike and seeing the way that they've kind of transferred through being that anytime, anywhere, any place app. I think there's also the value of the community and the entertainment value of it. Like, I think you have to think of Peloton almost as an entertainment company and a content creation company first, which Nike, I just went to the Nike training club in Newport Beach. Like, Nike doesn't have that. They have the name Nike, but they don't have the trainers that you're following, and they don't have the engagement that you're getting from these personalities who are really.
And who would I
fitness
rather be,
influencers.
Nike or Peloton right now? That'd be my
Yeah,
pushback on that. Like the product wins, right? Like that's the thing. Like you have to have a reason to keep coming back.
but
Because
that's like
the internet celebrity is a dime a dozen, in my opinion.
sure.
But anyway, I mean,
sure.
yeah, we can keep going on this one. Well, I imagine we'll have some conversations on the Play NRF on this to sort this out. But
We
yeah,
absolutely will. Listeners, submit your feedback and tell us what your thoughts are on this. But
100%.
I think Peloton has to do this no matter what. They have to do something, and this feels like the best strategic move that they could be making right now. So on to headline number 3. Now, Chris, you can bring your own cup for Starbucks drive-through and mobile orders. According to Channel 4 New York, Starbucks announced that beginning Wednesday, January 3rd, all customers at all company-operated and participating licensed stores in the U.S. and Canada can use their own clean personal cup when ordering in the cafe, in the drive-through, or when ordering ahead with
amazing.
the Starbucks app. So how does this work, you might be wondering? Well, I tried this out this morning.
You did?
I did. Yes. Customers at any participating stores, they can bring in your personal clean cup, whatever you have, whether it's a Yeti, if you like drinking out of metal drinking devices, which I do not recommend.
Whatever, whatever you want.
You do you. You bring that in and you will receive, as a Starbucks member, 25 bonus stars and 10 cents off your coffee purchase. Dirty cups, however, are not accepted. So don't bring your dirty, skeezy cups into the Starbucks. They're not going to fill it. All Starbucks standard size options, short, tall, grande, venti, Trenta, and beverage formats, hot, iced, and blended, are available to be ordered in a personal cup. Baristas prepare the drink with a new custom beverage craft smallware, which is a fancy word for just saying another plastic container with a cover.
I have so many questions for you about this. I'm dying to ask them of you.
And then they will add the toppings. In the drive-through, customers can order their beverage as usual and just let the barista know that they brought their own cup. At the pickup window, baristas will collect the customer's personal cup without the lid using a contactless vessel to ensure hygiene and safety, and the beverage will be returned the same way. Chris.
Yes. You didn't do the drive up, huh? Because I want to see what the contactless vessel is too, and I mean
Uh,
that's my my
it looks like
biggest
just a
question.
cup holder that they reach out from
Okay,
the
got it.
images, but
Got it.
no,
Got it.
I went
Did
in
you
and did the mobile order.
did you get a latte
Yes,
or
I
you
did.
did? So
Yep.
they take a latte and they pour the latte into your cup?
Yeah, I mean,
'Cause that was
essentially
my question is like, how do you get the foam to fit right and all that kind of stuff and all.
it's actually I was surprised at the quality. I will say
Yeah.
that. Like
Yeah.
it's essentially one of the shaker bottles that they use for
Mm,
the ice drinks, and then they
okay.
just it's just sitting there with all the other mobile orders, but it's this in this plastic shaker bottle with the sticker on it that has my name and says my mobile
You
order
come
number.
up to it and you
I
say,
come
"Hey."
up, I tell them, "Hey, I have this I brought my own cup. I have this order." And then they just open, I give them, you cannot have the container cover on or anything. They will
Right, right,
not
right.
touch the cup. It just gets
They
dumped
don't
into your
touch the
cup.
cup.
They do not
Fascinating.
touch the cup, and then
Wow.
you take it, you put your cover on it, and you're good to go. Quality is good. I asked the baristas, I was like, so hey guys, how's this going? And the response was, it's a learning experience for all of us.
Yeah, but it
Like,
sounds like they're nailing it though. I mean, it sounds like you had a pretty good experience, which is pretty amazing
yeah,
considering they just rolled this out nationwide like a
a
week
week.
ago.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. But
And
what
I
are your
doubt that many people know about it either, too. Like, really,
no,
like
that's what
the
they said too.
average
They're
customer
like,
doesn't know about it.
they've probably done 3 of them, they said, in the
Yeah.
last week. So
Wow, which is how mobile pickup started too. But all right, let's so what's your question? So let's kick this off.
so hearing what
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
experience
it
is
was
like,
great, by the way. Nice job.
what do you think of contactless pickup? Like, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah. So I love this. You know, I think you can probably tell from the way we were
Yeah.
talking about it. I love it. I talked about defensive moats in the last headline, and I think this is a great example of that. This
Mhm.
creates a defensive moat because it's so hard to do operationally. You just listen to the thought process that you outline in describing how this works and all that went into designing it and the
Right.
conversation we just had about it. That's amazing because the beauty of hard things is, as was written once, I don't remember who wrote the book. The beauty of hard things is that they're hard to do.
Yeah.
And that's what you have here. And Starbucks, we've seen this firsthand because we've been at their headquarters when we were back at Target, and we've seen how they trial these things. They start in their central HQ operation, their central HQ cafes, then they roll it out to pilot stores. And so they know how to make this work already. And so they're
Right.
going national with it. And so they're miles ahead of other people like on this. Like, especially when you start talking about the QSRs, they're gonna be years from figuring out how to make this work. And they're probably gonna delay it too, just like they did with mobile ordering, just like we mentioned before. So I'm gonna try. I can't wait to try it out, but I think
Yeah.
it's a great move long term from a strategy perspective. Hits everything on the brand, all the big trends on sustainability too. Just super smart.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't have much more to add. I think one, if anyone can make this work at Starbucks, look at what they did with mobile ordering. They,
They're
when
so
they
good.
started that, like they are so regimented about making this an experience that
Yeah.
works for all of them. I think there's still going to be some hurdles to get over, clearly, the same way that mobile
Yeah.
ordering
Oh
there
yeah.
was. You still have to get the barista's attention, which can be difficult in those
And they're
situations.
busy. Yeah.
And they, like it takes them out of their kind of like flow state.
Yeah.
So I think I think that'll get figured out with time. But I really think we have to give an extra kudos to Starbucks here for scrapping the reusable cup idea too that they were going forward, and
Mm,
really just saying, listen, we're going all in on this. You bring your
yeah.
vessels. We're not going to be doing this. That was not a good idea. And I really feel like the greatest thing about this is that sustainability is going to be possible. Sustainability goals from Starbucks are going to be possible because they are going to, with this, change the way that we consume coffee, the same way that they changed this with mobile ordering, and the
Yeah.
same way that they changed how we consume coffee from a Starbucks location 25 plus years ago when they started. So
Yeah.
I really think that this is something that end of the year. I mean, we're already putting our end of the year. Who is the most sustainable retailer? I think Starbucks deserves giant kudos
Yeah.
for this.
Big front running lead right now on
Yeah.
that one. Yeah. Most
Yeah.
sustainable effort, right? For 2024, 100%. The only question I have, is like, because you mentioned is what's the employee reaction going to be to this? Starbucks has had more union troubles than anyone else.
Good point.
How are
Yeah.
they going to react to this, being rolled out nationwide and them having to adapt to it? So because that could be the linchpin for whether it works or doesn't over the long run. But yeah,
You're
100%
right.
agree.
Yeah.
All right. Headline number 4. This is going to be a fun one too, Ann. Amazon is enhancing fashion shopping on its website with AI. According to Chain Store Age, in a corporate blog post, Apoorv Chaudhry, director of computer vision and machine learning at Amazon Fashion, highlighted a few recent AI enabled features the e-tail giant has rolled out to assist fashion shoppers and sellers. And they are as follows. Listen closely, Anne, very closely.
I'm
Number
listening.
one, all right, good. AI driven size recommendations personalized to each customer, which is essentially an algorithm that considers the sizing relationships between brands and their size systems, a product's reviews and other details, and a customer's fit preferences. The feature then recommends in real time the best fitting size for a customer. Number two, Fit Review highlights to offer relevant customer feedback, which is a feature that tells a customer whether to size up or size down in a particular style based on reviews from customers who have purchased the item in the same size. Number three, applying AI-based fit data to size charts, where by leveraging learning language models, Amazon will automatically extract and clean product size chart data from multiple sources. And last but not least, number four, an AI-backed fashion fit insights tool that uses an LLM model to extract and aggregate customer feedback on fit, style, and fabric. It contextualizes returns and size chart analyses with customer reviews using ML to help identify defects in size charts. I need a cigarette, Anne.
Yes, that's
And
a long one. Good job.
lucky for you, this is also the put you on the spot question
Oh boy.
of the week, which quite honestly is a really good next level question. So I can't wait to hear what you think on this one. Here it is. Wow. Better fit first time is a consumer friendly and business friendly goal. Could the efficiency of the Amazon platform itself dilute the impact because it's so easy to purchase multiple sizes with free returns today?
It's a great question from Anna.
It is a really good question.
It
The floor
is.
is yours.
Yeah. I mean, I think that now I'm going to caveat my response with I have not tried this. I'm a big fan of fit technology. And I think what Amazon's doing is actually deploying more data than some of the things we've seen from Walmart and Zkit and some of the other things that are just like different, different size models that you can see trying on a product. However, I'm going to use the old adage of garbage in and garbage out. You have,
Right.
It doesn't matter if Amazon's running every AI model on the planet. You have so many sellers and so many different types of products being produced in so many places and so cheaply that I just don't know that it's going to be possible to adequately outfit me. And you still don't even know me as a consumer. Like I'm ordering things for my household for like 15 different people. So how do you know if that sweatshirt is for me, for my son? If it didn't fit my son, how do you know that it wouldn't fit me? Like there's just so many things that go into this that I just feel like the data is not there yet. And so to A&M's point, like I'm still going to order 2 sizes if I need it for this weekend ski race. Like I'm going to make sure that I have one of them and then I'll return the one later. I did it last weekend with a $10 pair of gloves. Like I get why Amazon's doing this. It makes sense for the business and could be great for the consumer. But again, there's no scan of the body that you're using. And Amazon has that technology with their custom t-shirt fit products. So like there's serious components missing to this launch for me that could make this more successful. But again, I think you're looking at like, I had to pull this up, Chris, because it made me laugh so hard. So there was a fit for like a hat that I was ordering for my son, and they literally just had circles on the size guide that Amazon's going to be using their AI tools to scan is just circles on my laptop. Like, do you think your kid's head is like this size or a bigger size? And it's just like, how are you supposed to make anything of that? So
so there's a lot of room to go here with this.
There's a lot of room to go. I think the best opportunity for this is probably with Amazon Essentials apparel, with something that they have control over and then could deploy their scan. Yeah. But that's my perspective. You're not a big fan of fit technology all the time. So what do you think?
I agree with some of the points you made, but I disagree with the larger point that you made. I think there's 2 issues here, right? And I think A&M's question gets at the first one really well, which is what is consumer behavior?
Yeah.
And is consumer behavior just to the point where no matter what type of technology you try to deploy to this, they're just going to be like, hey, send me the returns and I'm going to send them back until you start penalizing me and making me pay to ship my returns back. Which as I say that out loud, I actually think that might be the way this goes if curbing returns is the fundamental driver of why this is being done.
Yeah.
Because
That makes sense.
the point I disagree with you on is I am starting to jump hard off the fit tech bandwagon. Fit tech is one of the hardest phrases to say. Fit tech bandwagon. And the reason for that is, as we've had people talk about on our show, and you just talked about it too, in a lot of ways, fit is subjective. You have two people that could be the exact same size and they can think something fits entirely differently
You're
for a
right.
whole host of reasons. So I think it's hard to make a subjective process objective. I think it's, in a lot of ways, it's almost a fool's errand. So there are aspects that I like about what they're rolling out here, like the cleaning up and finding defects in size charts. Like, I think, yeah, that could help. It might on the margins improve things, but my big takeaway for this, if I'm a retail executive sitting in the chair, especially, if I'm a CEO or CFO and I'm evaluating all the technology investments my company wants to make,
Yeah.
I would still not be putting any money towards this for those reasons. I don't think it's going to show the immediate payback. We're still going to show me the money environment. There's other places I would go first than deploying capital here, other than like in a small scale, let's test and learn type of way. But any
Yeah.
major deployments towards this end, even with AI, like you said, for all the reasons you said that are potentially problematic, I wouldn't be doing it. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
doing it. I'd be looking for other areas to deploy it first.
I think it
What do you
depends
think?
on, I
Your
think
last word
the
again.
last word is just, it depends on the category. Like, I think in things like bras and like undergarments and things like that, fit is not as subjective as you're saying it is there. I think in like apparel or mass retail stuff, like, yes, that probably doesn't make it much sense. But in like fitting a ski boot, fitting a bra, fitting a pair of jeans, like all of those things, I think it does help if you're ordering online to be able to have that's like avatar of your body to at least go off of, and then to start to, I mean, the technology can also put that product on your avatar so that you can see how it's fitting. So I think there's possibilities, but I agree with you. It's probably not an investment that makes sense for something as broad as like a mass retailer.
I am blown away that you don't think jean fit is subjective. That is crazy to me. Or ski boot fit is subjective. But anyway, we've got a lot of mileage to go on our flight to NRF now.
I guess a bra is like a great, like, it either fits
I
or it
can't comment
doesn't.
on
You're
bras. I have
spilling
no
out.
idea. I have
Ski
no idea.
boots,
But
you have
jeans,
to-
jeans can fit people's opinions on how a jean can fit can
That's
vary
true.
quite
That's true.
greatly. And a
But-
ski boot too.
Well, if you're wearing the correct ski boot, it should not.
Oh.
There should not be a discussion about how it's fitting. It needs to be safe. If you're going to safely ski, Chris, but we don't have time to get into that. I'm moving on to headline number 5. All right. Walmart is piloting a new mammography service. They have introduced a pilot program called Mammogram Now, a pioneering mammography screening service.
Nice. Yes, it's hard to say. That's the hardest part of this whole
Delaware.
podcast.
You thought Fit Tech was bad. How about mammography 15 times? Developed in partnership with RadNet Inc., this innovative solution employs cutting-edge deep health technology driven by artificial intelligence from Deep Health and aims to improve breast health awareness and accessibility by enhancing screening performance and promoting earlier detection. Chris, I feel like these headlines are like fight, agree, nice, soft, like this is fluffy and good for the environment. And now we have another one. But what do you think about this
Starbucks headline, right? Yeah, where we're like
then-
lauding them completely and slobbering all over them. But we got in fights about Fit Tech in the first headline today too. I have no idea, absolutely no idea where your head is going to come down on this. Normally, for those listening, when we make the sausage, we talk a little bit about this, but given schedules this week, we had to do it over text and we didn't really get a chance to connect on them. So I have no idea where your head is. But for me, I kind of love this. I mean, simply, I think you do. Okay. I think it checks all the boxes. It's something communities need. It answers why come to a physical store to begin with. Walmart is quite honestly probably the most accessible physical thing in all of America, barring maybe a Dollar General store or a dollar store in general too. So I think it's a great extension of the brand in a long list of what is becoming many great extensions of the brand.
Yeah.
So I'm getting tired of commending Walmart on this podcast.
Are you though?
No, I kind of am, because I liked when I could slag them off a lot, but you know, but and here's the last point I would make. I like the move so much that I honestly think it would have been something that I would have seen from a different retailer first. And
Interesting.
the fact that
Did you
Walmart's,
have one in mind?
of course I do. Like this feels like right in line with what Target should be doing. And and
Okay.
we've hit Target. Like, where are these extensions from them? Like they're totally absent. And we've hit that a lot in the show, so I don't want to cover it. But like Walmart's out in front again. And it's just, I think what they're doing here is so admirable too.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Anytime you're giving the public better access to healthcare services and preventative healthcare services, like you're not going to get any argument from me. And honestly, Chris, what I was thinking about this, the reason that I didn't have this in my original top 5 was because there's so many things that Walmart announced this week that made me think about how different our Walmart stores are going to start looking in not too much time. And I cannot wait to ask John Furner about this at NRF, because we also saw this week Walmart scaling back on DCs in Canada to move towards more fulfillment at stores, all the way down to like some Walmarts in the US were opening poke bars. Like, I think healthcare is just the most important of all those things, like being able to offer healthcare when Walmart is the town center for most of the country makes so much sense. Plus, I think you also had announcements this week from Walgreens CEO talking about how they're getting further into healthcare. And if you have, 16,000 locations at a Walgreens offering healthcare, then the biggest retailer in the US, the biggest physical retailer in the US should probably have a similar offering or competitive offering in that space too.
Yeah, that's a great point. Like, yeah, why isn't Walgreens doing this? Like, why wasn't Walgreens the first person to pilot this and try this out? Or maybe they have and we just don't know about it. But yes, exactly right. I mean, that move is happening.
Right.
And they telegraphed that completely with the hire of the Walgreens CEO too.
Right.
Like, that's his background. Like, they're like, retail, forget that. We're going full bore into healthcare, according to that announcement, at least how I read it. So
yeah.
All right, man. What a great show. Oh man, what a great show to start.
Just wait for NRF, Chris. NRF's going to be even more crazy.
Wow.
We're going to just be like ripping it. We got so much to talk about. It's going to be great. But we should get to the lightning round, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. Let's close this up.
All right, let's get to the lightning round. Question number 1, Chris. Kraft Heinz is partnering with Taco Bell on a pair of meal kits that allow consumers to make the fast food chains Crunchwrap Supreme and Chipotle chicken quesadilla at home. What Taco Bell delicacy should be their next meal kit?
Ooh, man. I can't stop thinking Yo Quiero Taco Bell. Remember that with the little chihuahua? Do they still have the chalupa? Did the chalupa, the chalupa
they don't have
there?
all the chalupa offerings that they once had, but yes.
I think you got to go with the chalupa then. Because the chalupa, that was a staple in high school. Go get 5 chalupas for 59 cents, I think it was back in the day.
I think that's a great idea. That seems like a good family or like something you could make at home, right? I guess maybe you have to fry the bread. Anyway, I second the chalupa meal kit. I'm on board.
All right, and staying in the food realm, Costco is rumored to be discontinuing its $1.49 churro. Yes. Of all the items at Costco, is this the one you would want to see go?
I don't really care what they get rid of. Like, they just need to keep the pizza on there. Bring back the Supreme Pizza, Costco, but keep the pizza and the strawberry sundae. You can get rid of everything else. I don't care.
Really?
Go ahead, churros.
Man, I love churros. I love me.
You do? Are you getting the Costco
I had 3
churros?
at Universal Studios last week, dude. It was so good.
Oh my God.
I forget that Costco, I don't go to Costco because, Costco to me is the 7th circle of hell.
Yep.
But no offense, Costco, but like, I love what you do. Great business. People love you. But for me, it's just like, I just can't handle it. It's like, it's not my way to shop. But yeah, but now that they have if they keep the churro, actually, I would stop in more often or ask the missus to pick me up one on the way home.
Oh man. All right. Question number 3, musician will.i.am announced Sound Drive, Chris, which will perfectly match the cadence and energy of every drive and will appear in Mercedes-Benz EQ electric models starting this summer. What song? I'm less concerned about the energy of the drive. I want to know what song you think is going to play in like bumper to bumper traffic on the interstate.
Oh man, that's a really tough question. There's a couple songs coming to mind. I think "Chasing Cars" by Snow Patrol could work. That always gets me excited.
That's a blast from the
relaxed.
past.
And some Collective Soul too. What's the song? when he's on high and he's looking down at himself. I don't remember what that's called, but
I
that's
don't
always a
know,
good
but
song for
that's
me
some like
too when I'm in traffic.
introspective, like chill, very
Yeah.
like emo songs for you to be listening to
Well,
in a
and
delicate time in bumper to bumper traffic.
I'm kind of an introspective emo guy, that's just kind of my MO. And all right, last one, a new article in the Wall Street Journal posits that there is an ideal dinner time roughly 4 hours before you go to bed.
Hmm.
How does this timetable stack up against you and your family's average dinner and bedtime, Anne?
I wonder if that reporter has a family and children that have activities. That's going to be my first question.
Well, it was a pretty science-based article, actually, if you read it.
Okay.
So yeah, it
Well,
was
I
based on
didn't
the
read it,
science of the body chemistry and mechanics. But anyway,
but no, it just makes me feel terrible. Actually, my husband caught our son eating 4-hour-old McDonald's in his bed the other night, and I have never felt so much shame
oh my
as that
God.
moment when he was
What was
like,
he eating? McNuggets
he
or
was
like a
eating,
burger?
yeah, like a Happy Meal that
Uh,
he like we put in the fridge because he didn't finish it, and he like took it out and was just sitting in his bed eating McDonald's at like
oh,
7:30
this is your
p.m.
this is your 5-year-old, right? Or
Yeah.
6-year-old,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So gross, and I'm very embarrassed.
All right. Well, that closes us up. Happy birthday today to Jermaine Clement.
No idea
Evan,
who that is.
yeah, I know. Yeah, he's Australian. He's a good voiceover actor actually now, but he was on a show for a while too. What was I can't remember what it was called. It was like
Oh, the one about the birds, Brett
the
and Jermaine,
Concord.
the
Yeah,
Flight of the
Flight of the
Concords. Oh
Concord.
my
Yeah,
God, yeah,
you,
I
you know
totally know
him.
how he
Yeah,
is. I
you
love
see.
that guy. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I see. You see. All right, Evan Handler, and last but not least, the woman that made me want to be the flamingo kid when I was young, the great Janet Jones. And remember, if you can only read or listen to one retail blog in the business, make it OmniTalk, the only retail media outlet run by two former executives from a current top 10 US retailer. Our Fast Five podcast is the quickest, fastest rundown of all the week's top news, and our twice weekly newsletter tells you the top 5 things you need to know each day, and also features special content that is exclusive to us. And we do it all just for you. And we try really hard to make it all fit within the preview pane of your inbox. Thanks as always for listening in. Please remember to like and leave us a review wherever you happen to listen to your podcast or on YouTube. You can follow us today by simply going to youtube.com/OmniTalkRetail. So until next week, and on behalf of all of us at OmniTalk Retail, as always, be careful out there.
The OmniTalk Fast Five is brought to you in association with the A&M Consumer and Retail Group. The A&M Consumer and Retail Group is a management consulting firm that tackles the most complex challenges and advance its clients, people, and communities toward their maximum potential. CRG brings the experience, tools, and operator-like pragmatism to help retailers and consumer products companies be on the right side of disruption. And Avalara. Avalara makes tax compliance faster, easier, more accurate, and more reliable for 30,000 plus businesses and government customers in over 90 countries. Avalara leverages 1,200 plus signed partner integrations to power tax calculations, document management, tax return filing, and tax content access. Visit avalara.com to improve your compliance journey. And Williot. Williot's ambient IoT visibility platform, powered by battery-free Bluetooth tags, eliminates scanning for real-time end-to-end inventory visibility. For more information, head to williot.com/omnitalk. And TGW. Revolutionize your grocery supply chain with TGW. Their experts tailor automation solutions to your needs, ensuring you have the edge. Work with TGW before your competition does. Discover more at tgw-group.com. And finally, Sezzle. Sezzle is an innovative buy now, pay later solution that allows shoppers to split purchases into 4 interest-free payments over 6 weeks. To learn more, visit Sezzle.com.